Today, pitch etiquette. Oh, now I don't want this to turn into a bun fight, right? In the comments, I don't want it to turn into a Facebook community or Facebook discussion. But what are your thoughts on pitch etiquette? And by that, I mean basically how people behave on a caravan site. So white peg rule. So I'll put a picture up here of how you're supposed to park on caravan club sites. Now, I don't know about the other club or maybe private sites. I mean, we've been on a couple of private sites and they don't seem to be quite so strict. What they like you to do is keep this fire break maybe 3 meters or whatever it is. Certainly when we was on the last site we was in Devon, which was Neweer Valley, very nice site by the way. We were on a pitch. Now we've got a twin axle and we was on a pitch. The pitch is maybe 15 meters wide, but not 8 meters deep, so we couldn't put it on how you'd normally put it on. So we put it on like widthways, which was okay. A bit tricky getting onto the pitch. So back to the white peg. So I'll put a picture up. So I'm just looking at it here. So it's basically caravan has to go just to the right of the peg if you're going backwards. Car one side, awning the other. Now I've noticed since lockdown, quite a few people, I'd say more than half, and motorhomers are especially guilty of this, not parking it by the pitch. In fact, I've seen motorhomes parking it where you'd normally park the car. What that means is the motorhome is then much nearer to where you are sitting in your awning, which is a real pain and not something I like at all. Now, a couple of people have done it and I thought, oh, maybe what they're doing, they're just parking there because they're just going out. But what they do, they park there, they face the other way and deploy their awning so that their awning is basically where the caravan normally is. And I think their argument would be, well, you know, my motorhome's only where a caravan's car would be and my awning is where the caravan would be. But, you know, I don't like it at all. So there's another thing, not only okay, it's not the worst crime in the world not parking correctly on the pitch marker, right? But you are told to do it in the office, and my issue with it is warden's not enforcing it. So we was a caravan site near Battle, and the people opposite us were not on the white. There was actually their caravan was where you normally park the car, so it was the other side of the white pitch marker. Warden comes up and has a chat with him, but he's not forced to move it. So basically, you can park wherever you want on a caravan club site, and the wardens might moan about you, but they ain't going to make you take the awning down and move the caravan. Okay, there might have been newbies, but you are told in the office how to park. Something else is the way you park on whether you're forwards or backwards on the site, on the pitch. So 99% of caravanners and motorhomes, well, caravanners definitely, motorhomes not so sure, back onto a pitch, so that then you're never at a position where you're awning to awning facing each other. Which I had a Neweer caravan as a first caravan, and the door was on the wrong side, and honestly, it was so uncomfortable rocking up on site, backing on, then having to erect your awning, and you're facing the other person's awning. I said in the previous vlogs, I'd spoken to wardens and said, look, if I go on front ways, mate, oh no, fire hazard. You know, it wasn't. I know now people have said it's changed, but then it wasn't, and it's a real hassle. And the same thing now goes for motorhomes that go on front ways that have got the door the UK side. So when they do that, their door opens out onto their habitation door opens out to where you're sitting on your pitch. Okay, again, it's not absolutely the end of the world. So a question and comments below would be gratefully received. So what do you consider your pitch? Now, I'll put that picture up again of the Caravan Club parking guide, where it has car, caravan, awning. Now, there's usually, on some sites anyway, a bit of grass after your awning. So do you consider that your pitch? Or is it half and half with the next pitch? Because I've had a car, caravan, awning and a bit of grass, and I've had people sit on that bit of grass from the caravan beside me, which I think it's all just a bit weird. And then people cutting through your pitch. Now, we're always careful that we don't get too near a toilet that's going to be like a walkway for other caravanners. So, you know, if you're further down the site, you walk past my pitch. Now, we had that again in Cornwall many years ago. We were right near, we were close to the toilet block. So people were constantly walking past our pitch. But we didn't have an awning up. And they get surprisingly close to the door, surprisingly close to your caravan, like basically just walking right beside, and also walking across the front. And basically almost stepping over the A-frame. I don't understand this behaviour. It troubles me. It start making me feel I'm a bit weird. Really, what do you think about that? People walking on your pitch to get somewhere. Again, not the worst crime in the world, but privacy, innit? Surely. When we first started with the Motorhome and Caravan Club, we used to think there was far too many rules, and absolutely drove us mad that you weren't allowed to do this, you weren't allowed to do this. It's like, okay, just calm down, I'm on holiday. However, now, the same rules apply, but I personally don't think they're being enforced very well. We was at near Battle, the first 4th of July we went away, just after the lockdown finished. You've probably seen the vlog, I've vlogged about it before. So there was a couple of 3 or 4 families together, and all joined in on one pitch on a barbecue. So they was all sitting in a big circle around a barbecue, maybe 15 people. And like, this was just as lockdown, the day after lockdown had finished, well, had eased a bit so that we could go away. We complained to the wardens, and I'll have to say it, they bottled it. They didn't really address the problem, and all the people on the other site said, on the other pitch said, oh, we're all in the same bubble. Now at that point, that would have been 4 families. 4 families couldn't have been in one bubble. So I think wardens need to get a bit stricter on caravanners about how they're enforcing laws or rules, or otherwise don't have the rules. I don't mind. You know, if you haven't got any rules, that's fine. Then I know where we stand. Whereas if you have got the rules and not enforced, it makes life very stressful, because you're on the next pitch, and you can see like the caravan hasn't parked on the white. You know, does it matter? Shut up, Graham. You moaning old Victor.
I don't believe it.
Well, it does matter, because Caravan Club aren't enforcing rules. You've heard me moan about Terrific Farm, lovely site, but this bun fight over the pitches again. It's not. I don't blame the individual caravanners or motorhomers for doing it. You know, I personally wouldn't do it, but I can see why people do it. I think it's down to the Caravan Club to enforce these rules. Like, if you're on a pitch for your holiday, you stay on the pitch, and that's it. You don't get up and move because you've seen a better one. I mean, people have said they've seen people change more than once, maybe 3 times on a week's holiday. Now that's ridiculous. It's just like, you know, going, oh, I want the best pitch. You know, we all have to do it. And turning up early on site, 12 o'clock, you're supposed to turn up. A couple of times I was going out at Terrific Farm, I saw somebody hurtle down the road, probably faster than he should be going, at just about 10 o'clock, to sit in the kind of late arrivals area. I mean, okay, you might, you know, that's another thing. People booking on the Friday, turning up intentionally late, so that then Saturday morning they're allowed in at 9 o'clock. Now, I don't think anyone should be allowed in before 12. Otherwise, you've got people taking advantage of what are not particularly well enforced rules. So, parking on a pitch, treating your pitch as basically public space, so cutting right across over your tow hitch, right near to your door where your awning should be if you haven't got an awning. People turning up early. Big moans from me to you. The sun's coming round here and I'm going to be absolutely blinded in about 2 minutes. And lastly, I'd like to know how you pick a pitch. We generally drive round a few times. Now with Terrific Farm, you picked up that bit of drain pipe, run round like a lunatic, leave your caravan outside, run round like a lunatic, and everyone has to wait until the person in front's picked, and then they go through, and it takes forever. Now, when we first started going on to the other lot, Caravan and Camping Club, whatever they're called, we were a member of that for a couple of years. Now, initially we didn't like the fact that the warden meets you and takes you to a pitch. However, the last site we was on in Devon, That's exactly what happened, and I didn't find it so bad. In fact, I found it kind of better in that, here's your pitch, and luck of the draw. If you get a bad one, you get a bad one, I suppose, but you shouldn't be able to then move a couple of days later, in my humble opinion. So yeah, how do you pick a pitch? We don't particularly like pitches under trees, because if it rains, you get the drip, 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 and it keeps us awake all night if you drip, drip, drip. However, under trees good if it's hot and sunny and you need a bit of shade. How about motorhomers that park on a non-awning pitch and then put out their fixed canopy? Is that not an awning? Or even caravanners that do it, I suppose. Would you go on a non-awning pitch and put up a canopy? I wouldn't. I'd go on an awning pitch and put up a canopy. Cars driving too fast on site. What about that? 5 mile an hour speed limit. I've noticed it more. It's more obvious when people come on site and they're just trying to find a pitch. Some people, they look like they're in a caravan rally. I mean, I've seen people... people checking in, one of the party running down to find a pitch, standing on a pitch and reserving it for the caravan that's currently coming round. What do you feel about that? I hate that. I mean, wow. I mean, I know some people I've mentioned this before on Twitter, and some people have said that when they were kids, their dads used to intentionally drive on a pitch that somebody was reserving in that manner. People we've seen it done several times since lockdown. People from their caravan coming out, putting a chair on a pitch next to them that's free and saving it for their friends and family. So that when you drive round, you think, oh, a motorhome's there, and you carry on around. I've even seen somebody use a little sign, motorhome. Honestly, I've seen it. Motorhomes using this pitch. What do? Go up and tell the warden, or you can't keep confronting people. When we was at Traffic Farm again, I confronted a couple that were sitting in front of us, blocking our view. I was accused of being a bully by somebody on Facebook. Wow, I'm so not a bully. Honest. If you think I'll ban you for life, I'm not. So you've got a serviced pitch and somebody comes from their caravan and uses your tap to fill up their water. How do you feel about that? It's not your water, is it? Or is it? Have you paid extra to have your own water and they can't be bothered to walk down to the toilet block to fill up their aqua roll, so they're filling it up from your tap? I mean, I've seen people disconnect a service pitch tap and fill up there and give the other person dirty looks. I mean, is it people don't know what service pitches are? I mean, you could give some people benefit of doubt, I guess. But on the whole, what do you feel about people using other people's service pitches for water? I think that's just so weird. I can't get my head around it unless you don't understand the rule. I mean, that's understandable. But I mean, to do it, people with windbreaks that make their pitch into like a prison camp. Now I know why people do it, because maybe with dogs and babies, I can understand that. But there are also people that like to pick out their own space. Now I don't mind that. But again, what about this little that I mentioned earlier about the green bit of grass between? So you have car, caravan, awning, bit of grass, car, caravan, awning, bit of grass. That bit of grass, whose is that? I've had it where people from the pitch next to me have used that bit of grass for their windbreaks. So that's so they basically got car, caravan, awning, windbreak. Now, if you get a motorhome doing that and it's parked in so that they're facing you, then that bit of grass after your awning has their windbreaks on. So it goes your awning, then windbreaks. What do you think about that? I don't think it's particularly sensible. Not very friendly either. Right, so that's basically all I've got to moan about. Hopefully I can use this video because I've got the sun shining there. Anyway, you got any moans about? Well, they're moans. I mean, it's people not being sensible, I think, and some ignorance maybe. Sometimes people don't understand the rules and what you've got to do and what you can and can't do. All games with kids, people flying drones, people making noise after 10 o'clock. I mean, this is a big thing. I mean, people making noise. I've actually done it ourselves, where you're in your awning at 10 o'clock at night and you're chatting away and you don't realise that basically the whole campsite can hear you. because you're in an awning, right? You're in or like people in tents make more noise. You can hear more from the outside than noise made inside. So a whole list of things that annoy me really. Why do I bother caravanning? Now, am I turning into Victor Meldrew? Do you know what? I'm not. I am quite tolerant of people, and most things don't get on my nerves on site, but I just don't, when certain people do certain things, it pushes buttons, as it might with you. Anyway, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you enjoyed it. Unsubscribe if you think I'm a moany old sod. Thumbs down, feel free. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it. You know, the sort of thing. Thanks for tuning in. Oh no, I can't say that. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.